Okay, let's get right into it because there is a massive shift happening in the world of finance, and it's happening right now. We're not talking about a couple of dreamers in a garage. We're talking about the biggest players on the field. I mean, BlackRock, JP Morgan. They are pouring billions of actual dollars into a whole new infrastructure. This is, without a doubt, the biggest change in how money works since digital money was even a thing. And it's already happening.
So let me just ask you something. What if you, yes you, could own a piece of a skyscraper in New York for, say, €100? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, that's the very real future that this revolution is building as we speak. And then, what if you could turn around and sell that little piece of New York real estate to someone in Japan, instantly? We're talking in a matter of seconds, any time of day. That's the kind of power we're about to unpack here. The ability to move real-world value anywhere on the planet, just like that. All right, so let's pull back the curtain on what's being called the silent revolution. We're going to look at the core technology that's quietly making all of this a reality. That technology is called tokenization. And you know what? The idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It's just the process of taking something real, like a house, a bar of gold, maybe a famous painting, and converting the ownership rights to that thing into a digital token that lives on a blockchain. We're not talking about some abstract computer code here. We're talking about real, tangible value. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because tokenization unlocks three big breakthroughs. First up, fractional ownership. Suddenly, that €100 piece of a skyscraper isn't a fantasy anymore. Second, global transfers. You can trade that asset with anyone, anywhere on Earth in a heartbeat. And third, you get an immutable record. Every single transaction is carved in stone on the blockchain, totally transparent. The old rules of who can own what? They're basically being rewritten. But how does this actually work in practice? How do you go from a physical brick to a digital asset? Let's dive into our second section, one asset, one token, and see how it's done. You know, the process is way more straightforward than you'd think. It's basically 5 steps. It starts with a real asset being put into secure, regulated custody. Then, a smart contract creates digital tokens. So for a €300,000 house, you might create 300,000 tokens. Each one of those tokens gives you legal ownership rights. And every time a token changes hands, it's audited and recorded forever. And maybe the best part? Things like rental income can be paid out automatically to whoever holds the tokens. And look, this is not just a theory. When a sovereign nation, the Kingdom of Utara, actually tokenizes its physical gold reserves on a public blockchain like Solana, well, that sends a powerful message. It makes this quote hit home. This isn't just about crypto anymore. This is about geopolitics. So the idea is clear, the process makes sense, but how do you actually get in on this? Let's talk about Section 3, the gateway. How do you access this new financial world? For most of us, the front door is going to be a centralized exchange. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Every gateway has a toll. And these hidden costs, these fees, can seriously eat into your investments if you don't know what you're looking at. Which brings us to a super important part of this whole thing, the hidden cost. We're going to break down exactly how these exchange fees work so you can navigate this world like a pro. Okay, the most common type of fee is all about 2 roles. You're either a maker or a taker. The easiest way to think about it is like a farmer's market. The maker is the farmer who sets up their stall, puts out their apples with a price tag, and waits. They are creating the market, providing liquidity. The taker is the person who walks up, sees the apples, likes the price, and buys them on the spot. They are taking from the market, removing liquidity. And here is the key thing you need to remember from all that. Because makers are providing the essential service of actually creating the market in the first place, they almost always get rewarded with lower fees. Takers, who get the convenience of an instant deal, usually pay a little bit more. So let's look at some real-world examples from the heavyweights. Crypto.com, they start out really competitive at 0.075% for both makers and takers. Binance is a little higher at 0.1%, but, and this is a big but, they give you a 25% discount if you use their own BNB token to pay the fees. And then you've got Coinbase, where for smaller trades, the taker fees can climb all the way up to 0.6%. The difference is huge. And this chart really just shows you how staggering that difference can be. I mean, for the exact same simple taker trade, you could pay 8 times more on one platform than another. And over time, believe me, that really adds up. So this brings us right to our next section, the platform war. Because here's the thing, the cheapest option isn't always the best one. There's so much more to it than just the price. So it begs the obvious question, right? Is the cheapest exchange always the best? And the simple answer is nope, not at all. A low fee is awesome, but not if it means you're sacrificing other things that are absolutely critical. So what else should you be looking at? Well, a lot. Security is number one. It is completely non-negotiable, especially after the whole FTX disaster. Liquidity is also crucial. You need to know you can actually sell when you want to sell. Then you've got other features like staking or loans, the quality of customer support, and honestly just how easy the thing is to use. This whole battle for who comes out on top also comes down to the tech underneath. And right now, you've got two titans leading the pack. Think of Ethereum as a fortress. It's incredibly secure, robust, and it's trusted by the big institutions. Then you have Solana, which is more like a race car. It's ridiculously fast, super cheap to use, and it's perfect for high-speed trading. They'll probably both end up coexisting, each just dominating a different corner of the market.
Okay, with all of that on the table, let's bring it all home in our final section, your smart decision. How do you choose your path forward in this brand new world? First, you have to get your head around the scale of what is coming. By 2026, just the market for tokenized bonds, which is a tiny little slice of this universe, is expected to be worth over $50 billion. This wave is building, and it's building fast. So, to make your choice, here's a simple 4-step playbook. First, figure out what you need. What's your number one priority? Is it low fees, rock-solid security, or having a ton of features? Second, compare your top 2 or 3 choices head-to-head. Third, please read the fine print. Check for those annoying withdrawal or deposit fees. And finally, just test the interface. A platform that's confusing can cause you to make expensive mistakes. At the end of the day, this isn't some passing fad. This is the logical evolution of money and ownership. It's moving towards a system that's more efficient, more transparent, and truly global. The tech is here, the big institutions are already on board, and the change is happening right now. So really, the only question left to ask is, are you in or out?